She was born in a shtetl, which was then Russia, Telechani, in Belarus. And she was the middle of 6 children and had a very wonderful, a loving life and a good upbringing. Of course, they spoke Yiddish in the house. She knew Russian, but they very rarely spoke it. The picture I get from her poems and from her talking about life in the shtetl, it was a happy life. My grandfather was a chassid. He was a cabinet maker. So they lived in a beautiful house because he built a house, and whenever there was a modern innovation, he would put it in the house. They were the first ones in the shtetl to bring water into the house, and they didn't have to go out to the well. And of course, she told me the stories about the pogroms. They had a trapdoor in the kitchen, which they would go into when a pogrom was coming, and somehow they pulled a rug over the trapdoor. But mostly it was, she talks about her brothers who had doves in a cage at the top of their house on the roof, and they would let one day they left the door open and they waited for weeks for the doves to come back. They never did. She talks about her baby sister running around with her little golden curls bopping up and down, playing pranks and going into the priest's yard that was not too far from where they lived, and they were always very afraid when she did that. And it was mainly about the poverty, but yet the love of the Sabbath, the love of learning that was very uppermost in her mind. She spoke about her mother being the midwife. Her mother was the comedian and the midwife in the town. My mother was 13, or 14, 13. They came on the Lusitania, which was sunk a few years later, and they came into Ellis Island. And my grandfather had come ahead with my mother's oldest sister and set up the house. And he came back and forth for quite a few years, and that's when he brought all the innovations that he found in the New World into the house in Europe. And the whole family came together with loads of cousins and relatives, and they settled in New York.